In this video, we are just going to develop a periodic scheduler. Let's get started. From few of our previous videos, we have been developing a round robin scheduler which is containing three tasks: task 0, task 1 and task 2. These are main tasks of round robin scheduler, and particularly from the previous video we just developed a cooperative scheduler. So this particular thread, task 0, is a cooperative thread, which means after completing all its operation, this will actually release the processor to the next thread as soon as it completes all its operation. So this is a kind of releasing the processor whenever all its operation is complete within the thread. So we call this particular thread, which is releasing the thread as soon as it completes all the operations, as cooperative thread. And these two are normal round robin threads where we will run all these threads together for a quanta time of 10 milliseconds. So this is what we call it as round robin scheduler and a cooperative scheduler. And coming to the periodic scheduler. So what is a periodic scheduler? As the name says, there will be a period or a fixed period. Let's take the fixed period to be 100 millisecond, and we want a particular thread in the scheduler to run for every period of time. That is, for every 100 milliseconds we want a particular thread to run, and we call that particular thread as periodic scheduler. So periodic scheduler is something which will actually execute threads based on a fixed period. So that particular thread will run for a fixed period of time. Until a fixed period is reached, that particular thread will not run, and when it is reached, the thread will run. So that is called a periodic scheduler. But we will not have this particular while of 1, which is available in these three tasks inside the periodic thread. Instead, we will have, like, let's take it to be task 3 void. So it will be like this. It will not have any while of 1. So we are just going to make this particular task 3 as periodic thread for our periodic scheduler. So I'm just going to copy this and extend its scope to the kernel.c file. Here I'm just going to extend the scope of that function. So this is the function or the task which I'm going to run inside the periodic scheduler. Similar to the increment operation inside the task 0, task 1, task 2, I'm just going to increment here also. Let's take it to be task 3 runner. That's it. Now for indicating this is a periodic scheduler, I'm just going to rename it as periodic task 3 runner. This is actually a cooperative scheduler. So here cooperative thread. So here I will just name it as cooperative task 0 runner. Here I am renaming this. So inside the task 3, I am incrementing the periodic task 3 runner. Inside task 0, inside while of 1, I am incrementing cooperative task 0 runner. You can see, and inside task 1, it is a normal round robin thread. So I am just incrementing task 1 runner. Inside task 2, while of 1, I am just incrementing task 2 runner. Coming to the scheduler .c file. Here I am just going to introduce a new function which will help me actually to switch the context as soon as we reach the period of time. So as I said, periodic threads will execute when it reaches a fixed period of time, or for every fixed period of time. So we just want to check whether that particular period of time is reached. So we need to define a function for doing that. Let's take the function to be RTOS scheduler round robin. I'm just going to define this function right over here, and inside this function I'm just going to use a global variable. So here I'm just going to declare a global variable. Let's take it to be uint32 underscore t periodic tick, and here I'm just going to check periodic tick equal to, let's take the fixed period to be 100. Here I am incrementing the variable and checking against the fixed value 100. If it reaches the value 100, I will just call the task 3 and I will make the period global variable, that is tick variable, to be 0. And following that, I'm just going to load the current pointer with the next stack pointer data. This is the function, and I'm just going to call this function inside the systic handler, because we very well know systic handler is the context switcher in our round robin scheduler. So this is where we switch contents from one thread to other or one task to other. So here we need to call that particular function for checking whether the time is elapsed and we want to move to the task 3. Here we have just written like if the period value reaches 100. So 100, why 100? Here we are running the systic peripheral right over here, configured to run in 1 millisecond each. So this particular systic peripheral of ARM Cortex, we configured it to run for every 1 millisecond. So for every 1 millisecond, this particular systic handler will be called. So that is why we have checked here to be 100. So once for every 1 millisecond, if this function is called inside the systic handler, this period tick will be incremented for every 1 millisecond. If it reaches 100, it means the 100 millisecond has been elapsed. So that is why we are checking plus periodic tick equal to 100. If it is 100, we are calling this task 3. So for every 100 millisecond, we want the task 3 to be executed. That is why we are making this variable to be 0. Once it reaches 100, it will be 0. Again, the incrementing operations begin. So that is why we are making it 0 right over here. And then we are passing the value of current pointer next stack pointer to the current pointer variable coming inside the systic handler for calling that particular RTOS scheduler RR function coming inside this thing. We don't want this, just understand this, we don't want this. Instead of this, we are just going to do few things. ASM of push R0 comma linker register value, ASM of, now we need to call the function RR, branch to that function, and ASM of pop R0 comma LR, and following this we need to do two things. First one is we just want to load the current pointer to R1. Next thing is we want to load the stack pointer with the current pointer stack pointer. So we can do that. Here ASM of load R1 comma R0, here ASM of load stack pointer with R1 contents. That's it. So now I hope it will run. So this particular task 3 will run for every 100 milliseconds in our scheduler, and this task 0 is a cooperative scheduler. So once it runs for a particular time, it will exit as soon as it completes all its operations for once for every quanta time in our round robin scheduler. So these two tasks will be executed for 10 milliseconds quanta, and this particular task 3 will be executed for every 100 milliseconds once, and this task 0 will be executed for every 10 milliseconds once for every quanta time. So that is the concept. I am building this project. Let's test this scheduler. I'm moving to the debug view, right click, debug as STM32 C++ application. Switch. I'm copying this and I'm adding this variable to the live expressions. Instead of task 0, I will add it as cooperative task 0. Now when I run this, there is some breakpoint, sorry. There are few breakpoints available. You can see cooperative scheduler is running for once for every 10 milliseconds, that is the quanta time. But task 1 and task 2 are running for almost 10 milliseconds completely. So counter variables of task 1 and task 2 are very much well ahead above cooperative task 0 runner and the periodic task 0 runner, and you can see the periodic task 0 runner is very much lower than even the cooperative. It is periodic task, so it is running only once for every 100 milliseconds. So it is only 60 around 60 or 70 around, but this cooperative is around 2000 because it will be running once for every almost 10 millisecond, 30 millisecond. We have 3 tasks, so almost for every 30 millisecond it will be incremented once. I hope you understood what is periodic thread or periodic scheduler and what is the difference between cooperative, round robin and periodic threads in this particular video. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.